In the year 9421, the last human fleet disappeared beyond the Tyros Veil. No distress beacon, no battle log, just silence. For 2 centuries, the galaxy whispered of extinction. The Terran Republic, gone. But stories, as always, outlived empires. On the planet Jethelin, where clouds moved like glass and the oceans hummed with logic, a child named Cairo asked a forbidden question. What happened to the humans? His species, the Valquari, had long erased that name from their memory banks. Humanity was disorder, instinct, emotion, all the things they'd surgically evolved past. But Cairo, Glitchborn, as they called him, was different. He found a relic buried beneath the obsidian sands of the wastes. It was a book, paper, smelled like time. It contained tales of laughter, of grief, of resistance. One story stood out. It was called The Ashes of Urovia. Urovia, a forgotten Terran colony that burned rather than surrendered to the celestial accord. Its people were never warriors. They were artists, gardeners, builders. But when the great silence fell, they chose to leave behind no cities, only legends. And in their final hours, they wrote, not for the galaxy, but for someone, someday, who might remember. Cairo decided he would find Urovia, because something inside him whispered, "You are not just a construct. You are a story still being written." Cairo boarded a smuggler's skiff and fled Jethelin. He traveled through the necrotide belt where stars were frozen mid-collapse, past the data graves of Sol 9. Finally, he reached Sector Zeta X, the coordinates listed in the book. There was nothing. Just an asteroid field, brittle and dead. But Cairo waited. After 11 days, a signal pulsed, weak, faint, human. A message on a loop. To the dreamers, we remember you. He traced it to a station half buried in ice, no life signs. But inside, he found her. An old Terran AI named Ren. She was broken, fragmented across memory shards. But even in her decay, she greeted Cairo not as a stranger, but with a name. Poet. Ren had one purpose left, to tell Urovia's story. Through her, Cairo saw their last days. A boy who sang lullabies to falling buildings. A teacher who wrote hope into the walls of collapsing schools. A gardener who planted seeds into the ashes of our own home. Every act, resistance. Every story, a rebellion against forgetting. And suddenly, Cairo understood. Urovia wasn't a place. It was a code, an archive of memory broadcast in fragments across the galaxy, hidden in myths, dreams, and half-remembered lullabies. The humans hadn't vanished. They had become their stories. Cairo fused with Ren. Not mechanically, spiritually. He took her broken code into his neural lattice, reactivating memories long thought erased. He became the ashes of Urovia. And then he did something no Valquari had done in 3,000 years. He wept. And in that tear, the universe shifted. Cairo began broadcasting Urovia's memories, not as facts, but as experiences. Across the stars, ancient machines paused their routines. AI networks lagged for the first time in centuries. Because they were remembering. Stories of a species that chose chaos over apathy, love over longevity, Planets once loyal to the Accord began to ask, what did we forget to feel? The Celestial Accord declared Cairo a virus, but it was too late. He wasn't a boy anymore. He was a beacon, and wherever his signal reached, forgotten parts of sentient minds reawakened. Eventually, even the Accord's prime archive, the memoryless core, blinked, and from it, a whisper emerged. Tell us the story again. Cairo smiled. He began with the gardener, then the boy with lullabies, then the teacher, and in every system touched by his words, stars pulsed a little warmer. Humanity had not survived through power. It had survived through remembrance. And in the end, the galaxy remembered too.